We recently cruised the Carnival Venezia in June 2026. It was our first Carnival cruise in over 20 years, so we were a little apprehensive about how it was going to go. This is a complete walkthrough of the boat from every single level, trying to get into any venue that was open. I did this early in the morning before most people were up. This way I didn't have a lot of people in the video. That's why it looked so empty. It was a very full boat. It was at 100% capacity, and you noticed it. The ship itself was in good condition. It was an overall very nice boat. It was themed Italian, so it has a very Italian aesthetic to it. It came from the Costa family of boats, which I believe the Carnival owns. They added this boat to the Carnival cruise lineup. So that's why it's not the traditional Carnival ship, and it looks a little bit more quote-unquote fancy. This level that we're walking around right now is the main level. This is the level that has the front desk on it. It has a bar in the middle. It has the Marco Polo restaurant, which I'm not 100% sure what they did with that restaurant because it always seemed like it was empty. I think they had some kind of pasta bar during lunch, but it wasn't a very utilized restaurant. As you can see, in very nice condition. It's pretty well upkept. I didn't have a lot of problems with the way that the boat was kept. I thought that it was a very nice boat and very clean for the most part. The only complaint that I have as far as cleanliness goes is that our room was not clean when we checked in. So they said that the room was ready. There was cookie crumbs all over the counters. We always inspect the beds. The bed was stained, like somebody drooled all over it. So it wasn't exactly clean. The mirrors were all fogged up and smudged. The deck was pretty dirty. There was empty cups on the deck. So I wouldn't give it an A+ rating for cleanliness, especially the rooms. However, the rest of the ship was pretty clean and in pretty good shape. This level is, as I said, the main level. When you go one up from here, you get to the main restaurant. One of my main complaints about the ship itself and its design is the elevators. The elevators were horrific. They take forever to get there. You have to press a button and then it tells you what elevator to go to. You know, whether it's elevator X, S, R, you go to the correct elevator and it's supposed to take you directly to the floor that you want to go to. I've seen this efficiently run inside of hotels like the Marriott Marquis in New York City, and it's not so bad, but on this ship, it's absolutely terrible. In addition to that, on embarkation day and debarkation day, they use most of the elevators for moving luggage, which I've never seen before on a cruise. Normally they move luggage in some invisible way and get it to your room without inconveniencing all the elevators. But on this ship, every elevator gets taken for luggage, and you basically can just prepare to walk in that situation. Food on the ship is actually very good. It's better than a lot of the other cruise lines that we've been on. The buffet is maybe a little lackluster. I don't think that the food on there was necessarily over the top great, but the main dining room was actually pretty good, and one of the best chicken parmesans that I've ever had was actually in the dining room. The only thing that's very weird is the service in the dining room, which is, first of all, extraordinarily slow, and it's very weird. If you order multiple appetizers or multiple entrees, they bring them all at the same time, so it's like they've never seen courses before. They just bring out 3 appetizers or 2 entrees, and then there's no room on the table, and it's a very strange service situation. Other than that, the food was actually very good. The bread was good. Desserts were very good. The proteins were cooked well. We thought it was generally very good food. They also had some specialty, let's call them like pop-up restaurants on this ship. So one of the places you can go was Guy's Burgers, and that was on the pool deck. The Guy's Burgers were actually awesome. There was a line for that every single day, so you have to get there early if you want to get burgers. But you can choose from several different kind of specialty burgers, and they're actually very good. They also have a taco place that's included at no extra charge. The taco place makes both breakfast, lunch, and I suppose close to dinner. And they have tacos, they have burritos, Chipotle style. This way you can kind of build your own burrito. And then they had some specialty dishes over there as well. And in the back of the ship, they had a pizza place that was included. And that also had a line most of the time. And that pizza place doubled as a bagel shop in the morning. So they had lox and bagels, different kind of confections having to do with bagels. So egg sandwiches, all that kind of thing. So there is actually a lot of free places to eat on the boat, and they vary quite a bit. The dining rooms work in an interesting way in that it's my time seating, but you need to check in on an app. So the dining room opens at 5:15, but the check-in starts, I believe, around 5 o'clock on the app. So you could check in, and then basically it says that your table's ready, but if you go over to the dining room, the doors aren't open, so there's a huge line to get into the dining room, even though you already checked in and you have a table ready. So it's kind of a very strange way to do dining here, but it seems to work, and other than the wait to get into the dining room, it works pretty decent. Otherwise, there are a lot of lines on this ship for different things. There's a line for the comedy club, there's a line to get into the theater, there's a line for elevators, there's a line for pretty much everything. It definitely seems like a boat that's at capacity, and the way they run things doesn't make the line situation any better. Publications say that the doors open at a certain time, so people get there for doors, and then the doors don't even open at that time, so there's just a huge line, and it's kind of a mess. The entertainment crew on the boat, the Fun Squad, is actually very good. Definitely more active than other boats that we've been on. Younger and more into it, more trying to have a good time and get everybody into it. We had a cruise director named Mike, and he was very good. Also a young guy out of New Jersey, and it's a little different than the other lines we've been on because a lot of the other lines have considerably older cruise directors, and I think that the younger cruise director does bring a lot of energy to things. The Fun Squad even made things like karaoke and bingo more fun. I thought that they had a very good entertainment crew on this boat. There's a lot of talk about the people on Carnival. You know, there's fights and people are rude, and it's the floating Walmart of the seas. We didn't really find that. You know, there's good and bad people on any ship, on any cruise line. There's higher and lower class people on every cruise line. It doesn't really matter as long as people are nice. We found that people were generally very nice. We had no issues with anybody. I didn't think people were particularly rude over any other cruise line. They were courteous and nice and wanted to have conversations, and it really didn't seem much different than cruising on Norwegian or Royal Caribbean. It didn't seem like you were on this low-class Walmart of the Seas ship. I thought that it was a good experience. And then as far as embarkation and debarkation, embarkation was a little bit of a mess. I thought that it wasn't really that well organized inside the terminal. And debarkation was very easy, actually. It was incredibly easy to where we were off the boat at like 7 a.m. and we were home by, 8:30 in the morning. So that was pretty impressive to be able to get off a ship and get home that quickly. So overall, we really liked the Carnival Venezia. We would definitely cruise on Carnival again, even though we may have not said that before taking this cruise. And we recommend giving it a try. It's cruising out of New York. It's a nice ship. It's a fair price. Give it a try. The rest of this video will take you floor to floor, and you can see everything going on this ship, including the outdoor decks, the buffet, the arcade, and every other floor of the ship. Hopefully you find this helpful. Subscribe for more content from B-Man and Beyond.
Like, well, don't worry, I've heard it now, I'm sure.
Car B. Deck 10.
Well, my mother said, you know, when you you.
One bacon. One.
And she's like, yeah, I just fixed it and then I just came back and
Thank you. What do you want to see?
Cheese omelet with cheddar.
The what?
I really thought your coffee was gonna miss. It was gonna miss your coffee.
down.